We are reading today Srimad-Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 14, text 24. Avajanantyami mudha Nriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha Avajanantyami mudha Nriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha Avajanantyami mudha Nriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Avajanantyami mudha Nriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vidanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha Next.
Avajanantyami mudha Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Avajanantyami mudha Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Avajanantyami mudha Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vidanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Mataji.
Avajanantyami mudha
Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Avajanantyami mudha Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram
Iha loke paratracha Avajanantyami mudha Kriparupinam Ishvaram Nanu vindanti te bhadram Iha loke paratracha
Should I read word to word?
Yeah.
Avajananti.
Avajananti.
Disrespect.
Disrespect.
Ami.
Ami.
Those who.
Those who.
Mudha.
Mudha.
Being ignorant.
Being ignorant.
Nriparupinam.
Nriparupinam.
In the form of the king.
In the form of the king.
Ishvaram.
Ishvaram.
The personality of Godhead.
The personality of Godhead.
Na. Not.
Not.
Anuvindanti.
Anuvindanti.
Experience.
Experience.
Te. They. Bhadram.
Bhadram.
Happiness.
Happiness.
Iha.
Iha.
In this. Loke.
Loke.
World.
World.
Paratra.
Paratra.
After death.
After death.
Cha. Also. Translation. Those who, out of gross ignorance, do not worship the King, who is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. Should I read also 25? There is no purport.
To 27.
Okay. Koyagya purusho nama yatravo bhaktir idrishi bhartri sneha viduranam yatta jhare kuyoshitam. Translation. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour.
I read that yesterday.
No, it is similar, but it's not the same. Text 26 and 27. Vishnur virnicho Vishnur virincho girisha Indro vayur yamhoravi Parjanyo danadha sumha Kshitir agnir apampati Ete chanye chavi buddha Prabhavo vara shapayo Dehe bhavanti nripate serva devamayo nripam. Translation. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcels of the king's body. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many demons who think of themselves as the supreme and present themselves as the directors of the sun, moon, and other planets. This is all due to false pride. Similarly, King Vena developed the demonic mentality and presented himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such demons are numerous in this age of Kali, and all of them are condemned by great sages and saintly persons. Can you prolong it a little bit? This is too short. Yeah. Thank you. Om Jnanatimirandasya
Gananala Salakya, Chaksurun Militanena, Tasmai Siguru Enema, Shi Chaitanya Manovistam, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupakadamyam, Dadati Swaparantikam. Hare Krishna. Please bear with me that I'm employing senior devotees singing and reading the verse. It has a good reason. I have serious health issues. I'm 68, but I feel like 88. So, when I was invited here by Kripa Sindhu, Prabhu, so I was invited because he is the servant of an ocean of mercy, Kripa Sindhu. So he even pulled me out of the Nordic region, wounded soldiers. He pulls out of the Nordic region and to be engaged in some service. And it's interesting, funny, because I had just decided I'm not going to go to Yatra in India, which I went for many years, my Guru Maharaj, this year. And just I decided that came his invitation to go here instead. And I was still counting on the fingers. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I go? Should I not go? And my reasoning to come to a final decision was, okay, I will go, and even if I lie in the bed like a zombie the whole festival, I still make a statement. I brought the body here because I really value this endeavor to make a Sankirtan festival. I have been a couple of times before also. This has been my life. Been engaged in Sankirtan mission since beginning of 80s. Of course, after 2000 it has been mainly cultivating the seed. I was doing book distribution before, 15 years full time, but got another, that was on my spiritual master's mission, instruction. I took reinitiation and got another mission. Still, I had to learn the hard way that Sankirtan doesn't only mean book distribution. I was really fanatic for some time, and Krishna really dramatically taught me that point. First, I was instructed a few times, and then Krishna, So yes, and therefore, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I went to Radhadesh to see Kadamba Maharaj for the last time, my old friend, because he was going to India and I was not going to go to India. I decided to leave the body and go to India. Go to India and leave the body. So I thought I have to pay him a visit and see him. I have to take this opportunity. And so I had a short talk with him, because there were many people who wanted to see him, so we didn't have much time. But he took me aside, and the first thing he said, "Thank you, Tapas. That you remained a Sankirtan devotee." That's what he told me. And it struck me. And it was very encouraging. So, so we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's 90 years and he's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he's almost blind, he's almost deaf, his hands are shaking, his mind is unstable, his intelligence is unstable, and his feet are slipping. He's handicapped. So how can he do this service? He says, when your feet are slipping, you need a stick. So by the stick of the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I'm able. That's the only reason why I'm able to write this book in this state. So that's what how can I do this in this state? For me to go on a plane, it's like a whole marathon. Because I've 30-40% capacity of breathing. But I got one stick from Kripa Sindhu, Prabhu. And yesterday I met Kamyavan Matayavsai from Czech. And I said, oh, you are getting close? Yeah. I thought I might postpone it one day because to charge up a little bit more. And she said, no, I'm going tomorrow, you have to give. And she gave me another stick. So now I have two. And if you can give me more sticks. So this is, and the thing is that whether you are in good health or not, everybody has to go with the sticks of the mercy of the Vaishnavas. You can be you can be born in a Vaishnava family in India, and you are very fit. You still need the stick of mercy of the Vaishnavas. Prabhupada was asked early on from his disciples, they were only hippie background. But it doesn't matter, hippie background or highly cultured background. He said, what was our credit to engage in devotional service? And he said, you didn't have any credit. I gave you the credit. But it's not that he gives only hippies, fallen hippies, the credit. No, everybody has to get the credit because this is the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified as the one who does something that no avatar did before. He gives the bhakti of Vrindavan right on. That's why he's the most magnanimous. There is no pre-qualification, there is no disqualification. The only qualification is you accept the gift. Because even Lakshmi, Devi. This is a pastime, of course. She cannot enter Vrindavan. It's her husband, Krishna. She cannot enter the Vrindavan because she wants to enter like a queen. But there isn't. If you are queen, you cannot enter Vrindavan. It's not a qualification if you are the wife of Krishna. You have to submit to the devotees of Vrindavan. You have to be invited, and then you have to submit. No, that's a pastime that's just to instruct us that she's still not able to enter. She's doing austerity somewhere in Vrindavan to enter, but she can. Lord Shiva, he managed. Because he accepted to be, he is Mahadev. He's the big Purusha, the big male person in the universe. And he has to become a little girl, bathe in the lake, and be under destruction of other girls. You know. And then he can be a guard of the residence, Chhatrapala. So, okay. So that was the introduction. Let's go to today's verses. And you see, these verses are describing and the nature or the mentality of a demon. So you see that Bhagavatam starts with 2 verses. First is Yanmadhyasya Yataha, and then on, and Satyam Param Dhimai. That means this Bhagavatam is all meditation on Krishna. Whatever is in the Bhagavatam is meditation on Krishna. And next, Dharma Purajita Kaitavatra Paramoni Matsaranam Satam. And we reject everything else which is not pure devotional service. So the mission is always 2. There is Gauravani Pacharina, and then there is Nirvashesh Shunyavadi Pachacharya Satarina. There's always 2 sides of the mission: to attract souls to pure devotional service to Krishna, and then to reject Maya. So, therefore, the mentality of demons also studied in the Bhagavatam. You have to know what to reject. You have to be able to recognize and identify. Because in Kali Yuga, demon and demoniac side are within the same person. There's a good dog and a bad dog fighting. Yeah. And you have to feed the good dog. That's what you can do. You cannot beat them. You just have to give strength. That's why Lord Chaitanya is called Vishwambar. His given name when he was born was Vishwambar. So this is like Vishwa is the universe. So the Ambar is the nurse. So he's the nurse of the universe, and he's nourishing entire population with his love, which is Srimati Radharani's and the inhabitants of Vrindavan's love. And this is the only saving grace. Because, of course, then he can't kill the demons. And Lord Nityananda said, I'll kill Jagai and Madhai, but well, then you have to kill everybody, because there is demonic traits in everyone, in some way or another, more or less. So here we have this Vena is really, what do you say, too much. He is really spelling it out full on, you know. You have to give him credit. He's straight and honest. He's not, this is not Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, you know, you cover it up, hypocrisy, you know. No, I'm not. I'm just a nice guy. I'm not God, you know. But he spells it out like right on the table. And full on, you know. It's like, what do you call it, graphical description. And it's amazing, you know, how can somebody speak like this? Yeah, it's possible. Like when Shukadeva Swami describes Maya in the Bhagavatam, the Prabhu in the purport, he describes, Maya is like this. It's magic. Can make you believe anything. Anything. The Prabhu said we should be afraid of Maya. You are not enough afraid of Maya. The spell of Maya. And it's like this, that Maya can make you think that you can see your own head cut off, hanging on the wall. So if your head is cut off, you can't see her. But Maya can make you believe that you can't see. There was a teacher who scared the child by saying, if you don't behave properly, I'll cut off your head and put it on the wall. Because it didn't fly today, you'll be fired immediately. But anyway, that was the example. And the child got afraid. Oh, I will have my head on the wall, you know. See, he didn't think that this is impossible. But Maya can make you believe unbelievable things. That is the power. That's why one should be afraid. And this is like this Paundraka. Paundraka was a similar. He also put it on. He said, Krishna, you are a fake avatar. He put on 2 extra arms. I have come to this world to save all the fallen people and to protect them. And I challenge you because you are fake. So he sent a letter to Krishna and Dwaraka, and they read it in the assembly, the royal assembly, and they had a long, good laugh. They thought this long, good laugh, you know. So, yeah. But he was very convinced. The modern Pandurakas are all like communism. We're going to create this. We're going to save you. Christianity is finished. We're going to make the paradise. Same mentality. So, and once, I can tell you, just a modern example of this. It was in the beginning of 90s maybe, in Oslo. Hurricanes came came some devotees from Sweden up also in Norway. This was in Norway. And there came a group of very nice, young, spiritually inclined people to the temple. They behaved very nicely, and they were very sympathetic. But they were deluded by my word. So the class was a Bhagavad Gita class. It was where Krishna said, I'm the light of the sun, I'm the light of the moon. And in the end, they started to, in the question and answer section, they started to directly argue about everyone is God and like that. And you don't do that in front of Harikas. Anyway, he was very amused. They were at least honest, you know. And he said, okay, so you are the sun and the moon? And they said, yeah, why not? And that was too much for us, you know. Yeah, man, you have to treat guests a bit politely, but we just burst out the laughter. This was too much, you know. And they were very convinced. Yeah, why not? That's Maya. So you may not say, I want to speak a little bit about, in connection with Prabhupada's mission and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission. Prabhupada's mission is adopting. His pranam mantra is just a copy of, you know, that Prabhupada composed the verse, impersonal. Now, absolutely signed, thou hast proved, impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. And this corresponds to Namaste Sar Gauravani Pracharin. Because Lord Chaitanya's instruction accepts the Lord as a sentient person. It's by the Chaitanya's program. And Nebishesha Shunyavadi Pachacha Deshatarana means, because Prabhupada explains his own. The mantra says he preached and delivered people in these countries filled with Nebishesha Shunyavadi. But Prabhupada's own explanation of that part is that this means fighting Mayavad. It's not just preaching in countries where there's Mayavad. No, fighting Mayavad. So, the same thing. The mission is two. And it's the main way of, it's the main expression of in Kali Yuga is Mayavad. This is the main target to fight. And because it's all over the place. And to understand that, we see there is a verse spoken by Vibhishan in Ramayana. Rakshasim Ashrita Jayante Brahmayonishu. In Kali Yuga, the demons take birth in Brahmana family, class of people, and destroys. So you can kill Krishna by attacking or by philosophy. So the main attack on Krishna in Kali Yuga is by sound. And that's exactly what they did. They took, in India, a seat in the Brahmana family and animal slaughter and other things. Perverted cases and all kinds of stuff. And then Buddha has to come to stop these demons. At least to stop killing animals. But they were he said he tricked the demons. So these demons were the Brahmanas. And Brahmanas doesn't only mean priestly class. Brahmanas means intellectual class. So, okay, in the West, we don't have brahmanas. We don't call them brahmanas. We call them experts. The experts have spoken. But it's the intellectual class, and they exert their influence by sound. Propaganda. The same thing is going on today. Okay, we don't have caste system, we don't... No, the same thing is going on. That some intellectual figure out, like Marx. He wrote a book, a few books, and it's spread all over the world. He was an intellectual. Let's complete the demonic philosophy program. Probably evil communism, you have to finish it off. So, so that's important. You see, I mentioned this magic or Maya. So the demons are lying up with Maya. So they also have magical power, especially in Kali Yuga by sound. And because and this is very, like Dhruva Maharaj, he was also shortly confused about the yakshas. The yakshas put all on him, and he was a little bit confused. Even as a Maharaj. What to speak of Kali Yuga's population? How easily it is to confuse them by propaganda coming out. They're completely defenseless. Prabhupada is saving us that grip. And there's a story, and it's not just because maybe some more of you, not only me, but I've heard others at least. When I started to read Prabhupada's books, I was wondering, who are these Mayavadis? Why is he speaking so much? Because we knew there's a group in India. Why he gives so much attention to some obscure group in India? And it's all over the place, It's Mayavadi things like this, and they do this, and it's hammering on. Do. And the story from 1966 in Second Avenue, New York. And this was very early on. And Prabhupada used to let the new disciples very early give a class. They were maybe only a few months devotee. And sometimes those classes were a little bit, sporadic. It was like 1 point here, 1 point here. And they didn't connect. It was like, and our disciple thought, this is, what a class. And Prabhupada said, oh, fantastic. It's a very good class. Because it was a... But one time we went in another direction. One of the disciples had been in India. So he had already been in touch. And he wasn't used to, he couldn't distinguish clearly what is bhakti and what is, So he spoke certain leaning Mayavad stuff, And Prabhupada, there's one thing, okay, here is his small children, he's affectionate to them. One thing Prabhupada cannot tolerate is to hear Mayavad. So Prabhupada was getting a little upset. So he asked, are you ready? And he went on. And now Prabhupada next, he raises his voice. Are you ready? And he went on. And then it came to a point, Prabhupada's getting red in his face and his lips. And then the pins quiet in the room. Everybody hands like anything. And he, are you ready? And then he was ready. I said, why are you trying to kill Krishna? And they were, oh, we want to be devotees. And then he said, this devotee who told his story, at that point we understood who are the Mayavadis. It's us. Grown up, not the full Mayavad, but you're grown up in a civilization which is permeated. That means, and it's subtle, means likely you have traces, you have influence. So Prabhupada is first of all, by hammering, he is first of all speaking to the devotees. He said, I wrote my books first for devotees, to become pure devotees. He's empowered. Can you imagine how empowered Prabhupada is? Like Bhakti Siddhanta. You know, in Lord Chaitanya's preaching mission, he preached first in Navadvip. Many liked him, accepted him, but a number thought, it's just a grihasta, you know, and they didn't have respect for him. And therefore he took sannyas. And then all these kind of people who are a little proud, and they actually accepted him then. It was a preaching strategy. They have to show some respect, because only if you only show some respect for Lord Chaitanya, you get the mercy. There's no more, you don't need more to start off. Just a little appreciation. So then they accepted him. But even after sannyas, there was one class who didn't accept him. That was the Mayavadis. And Chaitanya had to work more with them. It was the most difficult people to convert. And he spent 7 days with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. One person in the universe. God spent 7 days. To catch that big fish. And after that, he went to Varanasi. And it's interesting. So you have the Mayavadi sannyasi there. And at first he didn't want to, he avoided them. As a preacher, he avoids demoniac persons to associate. Later he was asked, he was begged. That's also an important point. He was begged by his devotees there. They were so suffering because of this city, which is full of this. And they were really so out, because of that, to please them and to honor the request of one Brahmin devotee, he accepted to actually and he applied his potencies. He took a very humble position. And precisely, I'm in a low class of sannyas. And then just to knock them out, he put on the Brahman effulgence. You know, the Brahman thought, we want to become Narayan, but he is Narayan. Look. And then he became very respectful, and then he spoke. If you don't mind, I can speak something. They criticized him. Why don't you study Vedanta? Why you dance folk dance? So this is a very important point also. This is the mentality of Mayavad. Is that you look up, Mayavad means simply everything with form and personality is material. It's Maya. It's illusion. This is the most important point about Maya to understand. Whether you're God or not, that's secondary, because there are two types of Mayavad. Nivishesha, they think you're God, but Sunyavadi think they're nothing. But the main common thing is everything material, everything which has form and personality, all activities also, are Maya. So when Lord Chaitanya displayed the highest ecstasies of the spiritual world in his dancing, they said, this can as well, not just a normal folk dance. Very offensive attitude. And this is a major way that the countries of the world, especially the Western world, is permeated by Mayavad. It's called relativism. If you study, academic study and education today is, you look upon everything as equal, relative. That's why there's problems. Sometimes devotees take academic education and become influenced by this attitude. Because in that, you have to look upon everything as equally phenomena. So there is no principal difference between Prabhupada. You are not allowed to actually see anything as unique, as spiritual, as real. No, you study everything as phenomena. Equal. But that's what Krishna said, Avajananti mamuda manusim tanamashita. They neglect me when I descend in a human form. They don't know my supreme position. And that's exactly what's going on. But it's subtle and it's by sound. So the modern magic is how to make you an atheist without knowing that you are becoming an atheist. No, I have respect for this religion and that religion. Yeah, the Vaishnava, they can exist. And, no, but you are an atheist, because atheist is to, if you think Brahma or Shiva or anything is equal to Krishna, that's atheism. Yeah, but I respect you. You can exist. You can do your chanting. Yeah, but if you think this is equal to going to discotheque, then you're an atheist and you're offending. Because this is really unique. It's extraordinary. Happens only one day in a Brahma's day. That the pastimes of Vrindavan, Golokya Prem Dham Harinam Sankirtan. So, and I can give an example from my own life. I was also in studying, but mainly philosophy. But I was still in the academic field for 5 years. I started 76. After 3 years, I could only understand this later, after I was relieved from this by Prabhupada's preaching. But after 3 years, in 1979, I went to London and I met a Sankirtan devotee on the street, in Oxford Street. They were specifically targeting Scandinavians because they are very timid. Yeah, and they told me later. And they knew, oh, here comes a Scandinavian. So I could see that she had some happiness. But actually it wasn't happiness, it was bliss. But I was thinking, in my mind, I was polite, I took something I gave. She also knew how to overpower the timid Scandinavians. I went to London to buy cheap records. And they have the best repertoire, And I was really into music, so I know what the record cost. That time in the shop, £2. So she had a record, and I only had £5. So I handed her £5. Oh, you want to give all that? No, I hadn't planned that. This is street selling, Should be £1. But I was so, timid, I couldn't. But I saw it, she was happy. But in my mind, what was I thinking? She got a kick of India. And some have kick playing golf. Some have kick going in the mountains. And she has a kick of India. So this happiness is just a kick of something. It's not real. This is my one. So I was nicely made a relativist, and I didn't know it. So this is the magic. And therefore Prabhupada has to hammer all over again. And he is so empowered. It was the most difficult mentality to deal with for Lord Chaitanya. Now the whole world is overflooded by this. And Prabhupada is able, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he started in India, and Prabhupada is empowered to make devotees from. That's how Prabhupada is a Senapati Bhakta. So the thing is, this is Kali Yuga. That means, he has to kill that influence in us. And that potency is there. If we read and study his books and if we do his mission. But we should appreciate what a great feat that is. You couldn't be more away from Krishna than being influenced in this way. Better to be, Prabhupada said in one point, this is worse than demon. One reason why it's worse, it's so subtle. Like I said, you're becoming an atheist, you don't know that you're becoming an atheist. No, but I'm not against God. If somebody would like to work, fine. Yeah, but it's the same stuff. Oh, it's a kick of this, a kick of that. If you have a kick of Krishna, okay, fine. But you're atheist. You're my one. You're not giving the Krishna that position. And especially with Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan, because it's so unique, it's so rare. Like I said, no avatar gave this before. So by Kirtaniya Sadahari, by constantly glorifying glorifying that Panchatattva, what they are doing to this world, including Panchatattva, includes Prabhupada, because Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Then one might, and also listening to the protective preaching of Prabhupada, protects us from Mayavad. Then one might be blessed by understanding those glories. When will I be happy to have such a perfect master? There's a prayer. When, what is this? Narottama Das Thakur? Hari, we feel, Golokare Premdam, Harinam Sankirtan, Narati, I can't remember. And he's saying, I didn't worship Radha and Krishna, I wasted my life. Now the same love of Radha and Krishna has returned again in the form of Harinam Sankirtan. Why I don't take advantage? When will the day come when I will cry tears, remembering, calling the name of Gauranga? You understand? If you are longing for that realization, what is actually the fortune we are being given. So therefore, I really wanted to go because this is the Sankirtan festival. We glorify the Sankirtan Yagya. We do the mission, then we discuss the mission. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Tapas. Thank you very much for taking the trouble. I always think what's missing in this Mayavad philosophy is the bliss. You mentioned it. So it's actually not working because every one of us is looking for the bliss. So isn't that the main thing we can, our main attack, isn't it? To be just blissful and just show that it's not working like this.
Yes. If you accept with open heart, Lord Chaitanya, it's a gift. You need just to be receptive and accept it with an open heart. And then the bliss is easily there, and then that will be, Prabhupada, a happy devotee is the best preacher, so that will be the argument. Lord Chaitanya did a little bit different with Mayavad. He put on the effulgence because that's their highest value. Highest value of common people is happiness, of course. So, I remember one time I was distributing books, and of course this is not the only time, but particularly this time. And was one lady, she was a typical liberated career lady, and on top of the world. I have a good position. I'm really proud. I'm a very important person. I don't have to, So at that time I was particularly enthusiastic. So I went over to her And I just bubbled her down, you know. I was just like the flood, you know. And she said, I don't care for these things at all, of course. I have my career, I don't need it. You know, what is this, you know? I normally have nothing to do with these kind of things. But you are so blissful. You are, I didn't use bliss, but you are so full of life, and I have to take it. Yeah, I remember specifically that. Okay, Hare Krishna.
I have a question. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I would agree that Prabhupada wrote in this chapter 1866 that one should give up all other religions and surrender fully to Krishna. I understand that he presented it like that. But if we use this for preaching and tell others, you are Buddhist, but you should give it up, and you are Christian, you should give it up, and they may be offended because they have some liking and some taste. So how can we reconcile?
Because Krishna said you should also not disturb the mind of the ignorant. So one has to fan the spark. Prabhupada Saraswati had this, Prabhupada quoted often, principle of preaching is, my dear sir, you are so wonderful, you know, your Dharma is so wonderful, whatever, you know. But please just forget about it and take the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. But you don't speak it like that, but that's the, you know. I never read books. Yeah, it's okay, just take one. So, fanning the spark, yeah. That's and for us to understand these verses, it's not that Krishna also says give up all our. It doesn't mean that now we stop following ethics and other kinds of dharma. It means that we don't we don't believe, take shelter of these processes as a way to perfection. Because in Kali Yuga, the Dharma is corrupted by Kali. Therefore, the general process of religion cannot uplift people to the ultimate goal. Only saving grace is Lord Chaitanya brings his devotees for Vrindavan, and they give pure bhakti right away. This is the only way to come. Yeah, the goal, Prabhupada said, direct process. Prabhupada said in one purport that indirect way, by Varnashram Dharma, getting purified life after life, and so on, and going from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda, and so on. This has only value until you meet a pure devotee. So there was this story from Vrindavan when it has some value, not full value. Two disciples of Prabhupada were standing in front of deities. One of the Goswami's temples, and looking at the deities with devotion. And the Pujari noticed, and he said, if you go on like this, you can be born in Vrindavan as a Pujari next life. And then they told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's response was, go and tell the Pujari, if you do your puja very nicely, you can be born in the West next life and do Sankirtan. Okay. Arigo.
What advice would you give? Practical advice if you encounter a Mayavadi on the street, how to deal with them? To still give them a book or just turn around and leave?
Yeah, like he said, Lord Chaitanya was so nice with the Mayavadis, and they softened up. No, arguing is useless. I once fell in that trap a few times, arguing with them, and it's just, they are very happy to pull you down. No, but my point here is that the main Mayavad in the world today, especially the Western world, is not people who are philosophically Mayavadis. Very rarely you meet this, because West is characterized, there is no philosophy. And no philosophy means Shunyavad. The atmosphere of no philosophy is Mayavad. And that's the dominating way. So, but in either case, you must, in either case, it's the same principle. You have to bring that, at least enthusiasm, even if you're not so blissful, but, that give that impression you really want to. Like Lord Nityananda, he was so enthusiastic to save Jigai and Madai. And he was so enthusiastic, even they tried to kill him, he just went on. And then Jigai was like, who is this person? This is not normal. Just an example. And we have to do it over and over again. Like Prabhupada said, that Acharya, he hammer in the dull brains of the Kali Yuga people. On and on and on. One time Prabhupada was sitting 2 hours with one man, trying to explain him the example of the soul and the body and the driver and the car. 2 hours! And he couldn't get it. Here you have the driver, the soul, but but he spent so much time on him. And if Prabhupada spent so much time on one person, be sure Krishna will liberate him. Because my devotee made such an endeavor. So I have to save him. So once my wife was distributing in Stockholm, and she used to go in the, for many, most difficult place, the metro station corridors, underground, where people are just running like anything. Not an easy place to distribute, but because too cold outside, so that was the only place. And so remember especially, she made one Yippie. Yippie is a puffed up, young, successful person, Really, they're not very mature. They are, I'm successful, I'm ego glows like anything. Arrogant. And even though so many people go through the station, different people, because it's a central station, still you meet the same person again. So and he treated her very arrogantly, And still next time she met him, she went up again to him. And he same, treating very arrogantly. And this happened 10 times. And the 10th time,
Did she recognize him or not?
yeah, she recognized him. It happened many times. And she went up again and again. Just like Lord Nityananda, you go up, you are mistreated, but you still try again. Normally, you don't do that. You kind of this guy. But she did it, and 10th time, okay, what you have there? And he took a book.
Might be the Lord in the heart.
What?
Might be the Lord in the heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wanted her to.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the endeavor of, like Prabhupada, he went through so much pain. He said once.
That sometimes on Sankirtan, you know, you speak so nicely they don't take the book, and sometimes you mumble your words and they take the book, and it's.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think you close up here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol.
Okay.
I guess.